What if every single human on Earth, all 8 billion of us here, decided to jump at the exact same moment? The idea sounds harmless, maybe even funny, like something you'd see in a cartoon, but the reality would be stranger than you think. Imagine a countdown broadcast worldwide. People gather in cities, on beaches, in stadiums, on mountaintops. The world holds its breath, and then, at zero, the entire human population pushes off the ground at once. For a brief, silent moment, humanity is airborne. For those 2 seconds, every foot is in the air, and the Earth is momentarily free of its passengers. When we land, billions of feet slam into the ground almost simultaneously. The sound would be unlike anything ever heard before, and a planet-wide, muffled thunderclap. But despite that drama, the Earth itself wouldn't notice much. It's enormous, with a mass so huge that the combined weight of humanity is almost nothing compared to it. The planet wouldn't shift in orbit, and the rotation wouldn't slow or speed up in any measurable way. In terms of pure physics, our collective jump would be like a mosquito trying to push a freight train. However, the effects on our surroundings could be surprisingly destructive. In cities, the sudden, synchronized impact would rattle buildings. Windows might shatter in older, weaker structures. In places with unstable ground, the shock could loosen rocks, cause landslides, or even trigger minor tremors. Not enough to create massive earthquakes, but enough to be felt by millions. In stadiums or densely packed areas, the force of thousands landing together could crack concrete or deform floors. Coastal regions might see something interesting. If billions of people gathered near shorelines, the simultaneous landing could cause small waves to ripple outward, though nothing like a tsunami. Still, in enclosed harbors or lakes, that sudden displacement could rock boats and push water over docks. The real chaos wouldn't come from the jump itself, but from organizing it. To synchronize all humans, we need an unprecedented global effort. Instant communication across every time zone. A moment agreed upon by people in every nation, every language, every culture. Getting even half the world to agree on something is nearly impossible, let alone everyone. And then there's human behavior. What about people on airplanes, in submarines, in elevators? If you miss the jump by even a second, you're out of sync. And if the goal was to create one perfect moment, those stragglers would ruin it. But let's assume somehow it happens perfectly. The jump itself might become one of the most unifying events in human history. Imagine the footage. Entire cities moving in perfect rhythm. A planet breathing in unison for the first and only time. There would be documentaries, memes, and conspiracy theories for decades. Some might claim they felt the Earth wobble beneath them. Scientists would quickly debunk it, explaining that while the local vibrations were real, the planet's trajectory through space remained unchanged. But for a few days, people might feel oddly connected, bound by the memory of that brief, impossible coordination. In the aftermath, we'd learn something profound, and not about physics, but about ourselves. The experiment would prove that with enough will, the human race could act together, even across oceans and borders. That the same energy that organized one giant, pointless leap could in theory be used for something far greater. Solving problems, preventing disasters, building a future worth jumping for. Of course, we'd also probably break a few million ankles because thousands of minor accidents and send emergency rooms into chaos. But maybe, in a strange way, that would make it even more memorable. The day all of humanity left the ground together and came back down with a thud. Not to change the world's orbit, but to remind ourselves that for a fleeting instant, we were perfectly in sync. And maybe that's rarer and more valuable than moving the Earth itself.